As we celebrate America's 250 years of independence, it is an honor to acknowledge a very rare talent, a person who has educated the world about the challenges another young nation faces. I'm speaking of Avi Issacharoff, this year's ASF recipient of the Pomegranate Lifetime Achievement Award for Storytelling. With anti-Semitism and anti-Israel sentiment raging across the globe, Avi and his co-genius, Lior Raz, have succeeded in reaching outsiders and exposing the staggering complexities that Israel endures continuously. Unlike the propagandists who reduce Israel's many battles into simple good versus evil contests, Avi shows us that good and evil exist in each of us, making his work that much more irresistible. Avi Issacharoff has shared the accumulation of his life's experience with the public, giving us a peek inside a world that is otherwise off limits. In so doing, he has created a body of work that can alter present-day outcomes and shape history as it unfolds. A descendant of Kurdish and Bukharian Jews with deep roots in Jerusalem, Avi is fluent in Arabic. During his army service, he joined one of the IDF's most elite undercover counterterrorism units and engaged in high-risk arrests and special operations in the West Bank. Building on this dramatic background, he went on to become the Arab Affairs columnist for Haaretz, the Middle East Affairs correspondent for Israeli Public Radio, and the co-author of books about the Second Lebanon War and the Second Intifada. Today, Avi is a Middle East analyst for Ynet and Yediot Acharonot, an Israeli-based news website and newspaper, as well as an analyst for Middle East issues for TV and radio. He has won countless awards for his hard-hitting journalism, and today is best known for the mega-hit series Fauda, which many of us have binge-watched multiple times. Along with Lior Raz, Avi started a production company called Faraway Road, producing outstanding films and hit series such as Hit and Run and Ghosts of Beirut. And of course, Fauda, which has collected well over a dozen top Israeli national awards and is a jewel that Netflix was extremely wise to acquire and air all over the world. Critics describe it as the best action thriller show that was ever made in Israel, and I'm jealous of anyone who may not have seen it yet because you're in for a real treat. Avi, the American Sephardi Federation pays tribute to your outstanding contributions in journalism, culture, and the film industry. Your artistic work, especially Fauda, has brought unprecedented visibility to the often overlooked cultural, linguistic, and historical legacy of Arabic-speaking Jews. By presenting characters, Jews and Muslims who share language, customs, music, and humor, your storytelling illuminates the profound connections that persist and potentially transcend the conflict. For elevating greater Sephardi voices and depicting the profound contributions of Sephardim to the success of the IDF and the security of Israel, Avi Issacharoff, we salute you. Please come up.
Good evening, everyone. I know it's late, so I'll try to keep it short. First of all, the good news is that season 5 of Fauda is aired in Israel already. Hopefully soon here also. So I want to thank the New York Sephardic Jewish Film Festival and the American Sephardi Organization for this. It's a great honor and a privilege to be here tonight and receive this award. I just want to tell you a small story about my career as a journalist when I was the radio correspondent, the Israeli public radio correspondent in Gaza, covering Gaza. My first interview ever with the founder of Hamas, Sheikh Ahmad Yassin. I was sitting in his house in Gaza, and I asked him about the future of this region. And he said that one day there will be an Islamic Palestinian state between the river and the sea, and he knew which river and which sea. And I asked him, but Mr. Sheikh, Simahat Sheikh, what will happen with all the Jews that are living here? And he said they will go back to their houses in Europe and in the US. And I told him, but Mr. Sheikh, look at me. My family is not from Europe nor from the US. And he asked, where are you coming from? And I said, half from Bukhara, Uzbekistan, half from Kurdistan. And when did you come? I said, around the end of the 19th century. And he looked at me and said, you can stay. So I want to thank, my grandmother, Shoshana Simantov, known by her maiden name, Warde Saidov, immigrated to Israel from Kamishli, the Kurdish area of Syria, in the 1920s. She was only 12 years old when she made the journey by cart and donkey. She was illiterate. She could not read or write a single word in Hebrew or in any other language, for that matter. She could not even recognize numbers. Whenever she wanted to make a phone call, it was us, her grandchildren, who dialed a number for her because she simply didn't know what numbers looked like. But my grandmother did know how to tell a story. She would sit down with us on a chair beside her or on her lap and tell us stories that ignited our imagination. Stories about extraordinary animals, monsters, whatever. And I guess that this is what made me so much in love with the story, with the business of storytelling, with the passion of storytelling. My love for the written word probably came from my mother, Sipora. She was an outstanding student in her school in Jerusalem, but her family could not afford to send her to university. And I remember myself at a very young age reading the books she read. I remember her distinctive handwriting whenever she wrote a letter or a note. And in high school, and later on in university, I combined my love for literature, for books. And I studied in the university Hebrew literature, but also, of course, Middle East, Islam, and Arabic. Love, hub in Arabic, ahava in Hebrew, is a universally recognized word, yet Arabic contains countless variations and expressions of it. Perhaps that is because in Middle Eastern culture, there are no restraints when it comes to showing love. If you love someone, they should know it. That is how I was raised, and that is how I have written, with love, with hub, with passion. As people of culture who grew up in Sephardic and Mizrahi families, we have an obligation, we have a mission to preserve this culture and keep it alive. In Fauda, yes, part of it is what we do. We respect the Arabic language and the Arabic music, just as there is respect for Israeli identity and for Judaism. At the end of season 4, for those who have watched the final episode, when our protagonist finds himself in distress, he recites Shema Israel, and in the very same breath, the Fatiha from the Quran. Throughout his life, as an undercover operative, our protagonist, just like I did, he learned to show respect not only to his enemies, but also to followers of Islam and, of course, to the Arabic language itself. Over the years, I have fulfilled many dreams connected to writing books, television series, films, but one dream remains. I want to write a novel about two very brave women, Warde and Sipora, my grandmom and my mom, that passed away. And I guess that if you had known them, you would understand how come that ISIS ran away from Kurdish women fighters. So two women of Kurdish origin, as strong as only Kurdish women fighters can be, and about their remarkable lives in Jerusalem during the last century, about the Mizrahi identity that shaped their Israeli identity, about the prejudice they sometimes endured because of their background. And yet, they were women who never complained, certainly never cried about discrimination. They simply worked hard and succeeded. That is their legacy. And this award today belongs to them. I would like to thank my beautiful wife, Ella, who is here with me tonight. My daughter, Leah, a soldier serving in the IDF and unable to be with us, and my youngest daughter, nearly 4 months old, Daphne Tzipora. You are my light. You are everything in my life. Thank you. Thank you very much.